So I've been taking some measurements in the greenhouse. It's Saturday the 29th of May, and it's pretty warm. It's gone up to 27 on the floor, and actually I can set these in place and give you, at the end of this I'll just give a reading of the temperatures in and out in my air being pumped. This has just gone tripped and water's being sprayed on the plants now. Just pop this from there where I was taking measurements down to here, and the cool air comes out here after the air has been cooled down by the water in the hole. So here's another thing I'm doing. So it's all, I can't remember if my solar panel is 15 watts or 30 watts, but anyway, it's running these fans at a decent rate. So there's a fan there and there and there, and they blow air down into pipes under, well, there's on this side there's aluminum down pipe, and it goes under the ground and it goes along and comes up here. So it's under the soil, and this one here, there's below the soil there's a water tank, and this one goes through the water tank. So we can it's probably good to go to measure the temperature. So the water going in, or sorry, the air going in is from the roof is 32.6 centigrade, and the air coming out here is at 21.5. So it's quite the drop in temperature. And this cool air comes up here, and the cool air is probably fully, what would you say, it's 100% humidity, comes up here, and you know, it blows up here, and it drips out humidity on the windows and on the roof, especially on this northwest facing window. And this one over here, the black pipe here goes under the soil. I don't have water under this one except right at the end. So this one blows air down under the soil. Some of the air comes out through this black pipe here, where you can just see the plants shaking a little. So there's a black pipe just behind the plants there. And also, oh, sorry about that, here, so some of the air comes out here too, cooled down as well, fairly well cooled. I haven't measured. I don't bother measuring the temperature here. So the new thing I have yesterday is I have set up a little water pump up here, and I have this little thing in it underneath to make sure the pump is working, because sometimes all the power goes to the air pumps, or sorry, the computer fans, because I guess they're easier to start than this. So anyway, I have that little piece of plastic thread in the bottom so that I can see if it's working or not. And down below here there's a barrel, and there's windings of there's coils of PEX pipe down there, and at the bottom of the barrel it's held down by some weights. And so this water pump is pumping water down into the there where it's cool, and then back up, and moisture is condensing on it. So it's working kind of like a radiator. And this is just a trial run to help me plan the next part of the trial run. But as you can see, there's water condensing on it because it's colder than the air around it, and it hasn't started dripping yet. Yesterday it started to drip, but so it's going to drip down, and we can push things around a little. But oh, there you go. So it'll be starting to drip very soon, and the hope is that I make a better, heat exchanger, or dehumidifier or whatever later on. But this is just to even try and check to see if it might be worthwhile. So and to find out, I've got two of these little pumps. So just to find out which is the best one to do it, I got these particular ones from, where did I get them from? Can't remember. Oh, I got these ones from Amazon, but some of the stuff I've got as well is from Alibaba. So I just try and source it to whatever might work fairly well. And down here at the bottom, so I have this tied. See, there's a drip of water going down there. I have this tied here in the hope that the water will drip down along this and into this. So this is water from yesterday that condensed on a thing yesterday. But, you know, for it to work as a proper dehumidifier, I'll probably need, and there's water dripping off this as well. So it's condensing on this container as well. So it is working, but to figure out if it's going to be working well enough, that's the big thing. Or if it's the eventual whatever, water is dripping down for sure. And then it's dripping past, so it's actually not doing as well as it'll still go down and onto the soil, so it's not a total loss. But the idea is to recycle the water so that we have to have air changes because we have to get carbon dioxide in here for the plants. But right now we don't need that much because there's a whole bunch of rotting material under the soil. And I only have a little bit of insulation along here, or not insulation, what am I saying? Air coming in here and air coming in and exiting along these little things along the corners. So there's not much air changes, but the idea of that is to keep in as much heat as possible in the early part of the year, and also moisture later on. So we're trying to save on moisture because Victoria is a dry area, and it's starting to drip a bit now. And we're trying to get our moisture saved as much as possible, and the heat saved as much as possible, so that eventually people can use whatever evolves from this in a commercial setting to grow plants with, I guess, more efficiency. So it's just an experiment, and there's a long-term goal, and most experiments. So here we have the water dripping down along this solar thermal panel. So it's just metal behind, painted black, and plastic on the front so the water doesn't evaporate off of it. And then the water drips down. It goes up to about 36 degrees centigrade here, goes down through the pipes under the soil, and comes out here at, 21, 22. So, and then I've got to figure out, definitely in the winter this is worthwhile, but maybe in the summer when the sun is higher in the sky, and this is on the north face, it may not be worthwhile. But I think, it's the purpose of the experiments is to figure out what will and won't work, and what will and won't be economical. And I think this, with the computer fans blowing air down under the soil and into something under the water, is in pipes under the water, is probably the best bet at the moment. That could change depending on. So here, this is the water that has condensed under the soil so far today, and there will be more later on. It's just going to stay dripping. It drips out of this and drips down into the container, and then I measure it at the end of the day. So it's very much a work in slow progress. So it's dripping off here now fairly rapidly. So it is working. So that's good. But whether it's worthwhile to do, certainly not worthwhile to do now, but maybe eventually we'll figure out a nice format for it, where the water will, oh, see it's coming down the pipe again, dripping down past this. So this is filled to get the water into the container. So we don't know how much is actually condensing here at all, because I didn't think so well. But we'll change things around. We'll change things around and hopefully get this so that it sucks lots of water, moisture out of the air, economically and simply. And you know, it might end up that some part of this is aluminum, you know, pipes or something like that. We just don't know what's going to work best. But now this is really starting to drip down, so you can see it dripping a lot. So it is working. I didn't think to figure out how best to measure the amount of water, but that'll happen. Thank you.